Hello, runners, and welcome to the RBC course strategy for the Brooklyn Half. We are so excited this morning. My name is Coach Anique Lamar, and I'm joined by my illustrious co-coach, Steve Mura. Hi, Steve. How's it going today?
Good. How are you guys doing today? Doing all right?
We're doing well.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this. So, runners, this course strategy with Coach Steve and I is for you. And we're going to be breaking down the RBC Brooklyn Half course, the ins and the outs, how to run it this year with our weather tomorrow, because it is tomorrow. I've had a couple runners come to me and they'd be like, see you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
And I'm like,
I've done that once or twice early in the week.
See you
I've
Sunday?
Adjusted it. Yeah, I've adjusted it.
It's Saturday. It is tomorrow at this point. We are so close, and we are so excited because we are meeting so many runners at the Brooklyn pre-party, which is down on Brooklyn Bridge Pier 2. So if you have not picked up your bib yet, Coach Steve and I will be there later in the day, but you can come by starting at 11.
11 to 9 o'clock, I
11
think it
to 9
is.
o'clock.
You
And
have to pick up your bib. Yeah.
Got to get your bib. Come see us. We'll be at the pacing booth. But right now, if you're joining us, let's talk about some of the pillars for good racing strategy or just good runner strategy that are super important every time you head to the starting line, but really for this half marathon. Coach Steve, what's one of the first pillars?
Yeah, nothing new on race day, guys. This is important for first-time half marathoners to those who have ran this race before. I like to say, if you haven't drank it, ate it, thought about it, dreamed about it, your friend hasn't mentioned it all through your training, do not do it tonight or tomorrow. So nothing new in race day also applies to kind of race week, but also tonight. So a big question we get as coaches is, what do I have for dinner or what do I have for breakfast? What is that secret meal that you guys eat before your races? And you know, unfortunately, there's no secret meal, but there's a secret meal for you, which is what worked in your training. So look back at your long runs. What did you have for dinner the night before? What did you have for breakfast the night before? You want something safe that your body can digest easily, that you're used to. Good rule of thumb, if it is boring, that means it's probably going to work really well. But once again, nothing new on race day. This applies to your race gear. You know, there's a lot of really cool gear at the pre-party. You can get your shirts, your shoes, maybe a pair of socks, but if you haven't ran in those for a while, hold those to celebrate after the race. Run in something that you've tried and you tested and you know it's going to work tomorrow, Nick.
Yeah, I love that. It's really tempting. And I like, runners aren't wrong. It's so fun to see the new gear. It's so fun to be in the crowd and listen to someone share a new race strategy or something like that. And you're like,
try this new gel.
Try this new gel on site. And it's tempting, right? Because you want to optimize performance. You want to have your best day yet. And you think maybe there's like a secret to what they're sharing. The secret is there is no secret. You just have to do what works for you and hold true and fast to that. My favorite one, perhaps, maybe the hardest one for some folks who tend to run a little late, which is avoid the race before the race. And runners, race days are complicated enterprises, right? You got to get up early when you don't get up. You're going to a place in the park where a lot of other, 22,000 other people are also going. There are early train times. As New Yorkers, we depend on our subways, which sometimes have off-schedule, construction delays. The whole point of this is you have to leave a lot of time before you head to the starting line of your race. And check out our website. Come see us at the pace booth. Read the race guide. But the corrals do close about 20 minutes before your particular race time. So whether you're starting in wave 1 or 45 minutes later in wave 2, you have to be in there 20 minutes earlier or as the corrals close. And so this is just important for you to know. It's not like you can just walk up and just,
saunter in there.
Saunter in there. The point is to get settled, check a bag if you're going to check a bag, get to your corral, use the bathroom, and be really relaxed and prepared as you can be, which means knowing all the details in advance. And I think this is one of those things where you see runners who have done it right, and they're just chilling in their corrals, and they're relaxed and they're ready to go. And then we always feel for the runners who are running a little late, and they have to just sort of throw things down and go. And that's just a hard way to have already raced.
I'd rather you guys sitting in the corral saying, Anique, Steve, I'm bored, but I'm here, instead of saying, I should have listened to Anique and Steve on the subway or wait in a bathroom line, get there early, and then you'll hear a voice in your head saying, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Coach, you're welcome.
You're welcome. The third, guys, that thing I want you to take away from this chat is do not go out too fast. AJ, I want to pull up a map right now because we can we'll go through each of these hills and climbs and falls throughout the course, throughout our talk here. But you can see where the biggest climbs are along the course. We got kind of that mile 1, 2, we got a big climb, and then that mile 5 is the notorious Battle Pass Hill, which we'll go over how to run that properly tomorrow. Those are the biggest climbs you're going to have. So those are in the early part of the race. If you go out too fast, you're actually not going to have any energy for the latter parts of the course. People like to tell me, I'm going to try to bank time. I'm going to go out fast and then just kind of coast in at the end because it's nice and easy downhill. Does not work, trust me. We've seen it every year. Like I said, bank equals bonk, guys. You're going to get to mile 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're going to struggle. You want to be passing people at the end, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the course is, but especially a course like this, you're going to want to be passing people at the end instead of being passed. It's going to keep your confidence up, it's going to keep you motivated, and going to maybe get you time that you want to get on Saturday, Nick.
Oh, it's so important. And you know, this is a runner's race course, right? We love this race course. Now, we do have to say it is going to be hot on Saturday. Tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures in the 90s at the peak of the day. And so we're going to be sharing information about the race course, and we're going to be caveating a lot of what we say. So this is traditionally a fast course, right? Because you have the hills in the beginning. If you run conservative, you get to mile 7, and you can just let loose down Ocean Parkway. It's fantastic. That being said, here's the caveat.
Ding, ding,
Ding,
ding.
ding, ding. It is going to be a hot day tomorrow, and we know that a lot of runners maybe haven't been training in 90-degree heat, like most New Yorkers who have had this really cool spring. And so we're going to have to adjust our race plans and run conservative. And maybe we'll be able to pick it up on Ocean Parkway. Maybe we'll just keep holding steady and have a good race too. Yeah.
So guys, as you get, once again, you need to get in those corrals nice and early, but the horn will go off for your wave. So once again, if you're in wave 1 or wave 2, start at 7:45. This is the start of your RBC Brooklyn Half Marathon, guys. It starts at Washington and Washington Street and Eastern Parkway. I always forget that other street, even lived off it. Eastern Parkway. You're going to make, it's almost like a left-hand and a right-hand turn, depending on where you are, and then you are off. Now, this part of the course does get pretty crowded. It's a narrow street down Washington Parkway, but it does open up. So this is, as you see, it does open up, but keep in mind, if you're maybe behind a slower group that it's not where you've been training, avoid the weaving. We always see people kind of panicking. Maybe they're trying to catch up a pace group later on, which we'll go over, but like you try to kind of weave around, try to get around people. Avoid that. You know, one, stress yourself out. Tire yourself out, and more importantly, you're actually going to add mileage to your day. So as Anik said, you only get credit for 13.1 miles. Don't race for the race. Similar on the course itself, your medal is going to say 13.1. So you're trying to get that distance. I don't want you running 13.8, 13.9, and all that weaving early on is going to add tiny bits of it, but the more you weave, the more you're going to get more mileage that day. And once again, this is more stress. So if it's crowded, if you're kind of boxed in, it's okay for the first mile, mile and a half, you know, because it will open up later. Once again, going out nice conservative is actually going to pay off in the end, Coach Neek.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we tell runners that if they can, run the tangents. And what that means is run the shortest distance between two lines. So if you had a big curve, you would run on the inside of the curve if possible. Now with crowds, it becomes complicated, right? Very few of us can actually have a full roadway to make decisions about running that tangent perfectly. But we do tell runners exactly that. Don't bob and weave, run the least amount of distance. Even if you think you're running a little too slow, especially in the beginning, you're going to be completely fine. Coach Stephen and Coach Neek love that. So take it easy at the first few miles here.
So guys, and by the way, any questions you have about the course, your training, put those in the chats. Coach Neek and I will answer your questions later on the chat. And also let us know where you're watching from. Maybe you're watching from here in New York City, or you're traveling and you came in yet, you're in your new hotel. Let us know where you're watching from, and any training questions for Saturday you have, put those in the chats, and we will answer those for you throughout the chat. So you're gonna make almost like a U-turn, almost like a 2 rights here coming off Eastern Parkway, and you go up, Flatbush. And this is a really cool part of the course you have around mile 2, because you're actually going out, and then the other people that are ahead of you are gonna be coming next to you. So it's really cool, almost motivation. You can see where your friends are, maybe see where a pace team leader is ahead of you or behind you. You can high-five people, save that energy, resist the urge of going faster, keep track of your effort at this point of the course. It's still nice and easy, but it is a really cool moment. You don't get a lot of paces where you can almost pass people before in front of you. So I love this part of the course, but keep in mind, some people do subconsciously pick up their effort level because it's just an exciting part. But Grand Army Plaza, you're gonna circle Grand Army Plaza. It's a lot of fun. This is also part of the course where tons of crowds come out and cheer for you guys. They're gonna be there, loud, calling your name. Save that energy for later on in the course. Anik, we also want to talk about our NYRR pace team out there. They're gonna be supporting everyone in every corral. Talk about them a little bit.
Oh, I love this. This is one of my favorite things about our races is we have these amazing pacers, and they are free. This is a common question. How much do I have to pay? They are free. They're wearing these blue and white singlets that you see in the photo right there, and they have these pace signs. Coach Steve, what do these pace signs look like?
Yeah, we're going to be, that's what we're looking at. There we go. So all pacers will have a sign that says their finish time, their projected finish time. So this sign right here is 1:45 finish time, and on the back will be their average pace per mile. Important, this is the average. So this pacer right here will not be running 8 miles every single mile, every single clip. They'll be on average. So as you go up some hills, it might go down to 8:45, 8:50. Maybe mile 1, because it's so crowded for this pacer, they might be, maybe 9, but they're going to catch up later. So stay with them. They know what they're doing. These are the best men and women pacers in New York City, which means the world, best pacer in the world. They're here to get you to your finish time. So they'll be in every single corral throughout the course. AJ, could you toss up our graphic? This is what corral the pacer's starting in. So we're going to have pacers, like I said, in every corral, some best in the world. So take a screenshot of this. It's on the website. It's also at the pre-party, but you can take a look. Let's say you're starting in wave 1, corral F. We're going to have our pacer Brian in there. He's a 145. This 8 is 145 pacer right here. I have a sign apparently. You can run with Brian the whole way, part of the way. I like to use pacers to hold me back because I go out too fast as a runner sometimes. I get excited. So they're going to hold me back to that pace. And if I want to break away at mile 6, 7, 8, I can do that as well. You can stay with them as long as you want. But once again, this is where the starting race day. We try to have the pacers go in earlier than the runners. We try to be one of the first ones in the corrals. So look for them. They'll be in the middle of the corrals. But this is where you can find your pacer on race morning, Ronique.
And Coach Steve, you can always move back as a runner. So if you have, let's say, once again, you're with Brian, but you actually maybe have had a bump in your training, as many runners have telling me that they didn't get quite the training and they wanted, and they maybe want to run with a 2-hour pacer. You can move back in the corrals, so feel confident to go find a pacer who works for your training. You don't have to run with that pacer, who's in F with you. You can go back. Now, the rule of thumb is you can't move forward.
Right.
So you can't say I'm in corral F and now I want to be in corral A. But you can move back, and we've been encouraging runners to really run within themselves, which means run within their energy systems, within the training they've done, and not to think that today's going to be the day where they're going to start having a miracle PR or like a Rudy moment. Like, there are no Rudy moments in 90-degree weather. So we want everyone to run really smart, which may mean for you going back a corral and finding a pacer to help you out.
That's right. Yeah, guys, remember, half marathon pace is easy. It's just hard to do for 13.1 miles. That's the hardest part. So go out nice and conservative. All right, let's go back to our course strategy. Once again, we'll have that on the website and at the pre-parties. Coming by, check it out. If you want to talk to Pacer, we'll have some Pacers there today as well. Runners, this is where you're going to enter Prospect Park. Around mile 4 is going to enter Prospect Park. This is the entrance. Another part of the course, the second part, and I think the final part, where you actually are seeing all runners before you and after you come around. You have runners coming into Prospect Park right here, and then exiting Prospect Park on this side. So it's a huge cheer zones. You have people out here screaming all day. A lot of teams come here, a lot of families, friends, charities that come here and cheer for you. So enjoy this part. It's exciting. Use that energy to get you through Prospect Park, because you're in here about 3 miles, Coach Neeks. Talk about Prospect Park and what the hills and the elevation and changing in the park.
Yeah, this is a gorgeous park. It is Central Park sometimes feels like, the New York City park, but Prospect Park is gorgeous. So if you haven't been in this park yet, enjoy it. It is lush. It is fun. It has some hills.
Got some hills.
It has some hills. And what we've been telling runners is that if you're familiar with the hills in Central Park, for example, Harlem Hill, it is not Harlem Hill. We're all cheering inside, but it is a little longer. And it is a hill. It's called Battle Pass Hill. It has some false peaks to it. So if you haven't run Battle Pass Hill, you'll get to the top, but you're not there yet. There's a little bit more, and then just when you think you've reached the second summit, there's a third summit. And it's relatively long. It's around 1,200 meters long, but it's a sort of hill you don't know you're on it for a little bit, and then you know you're on it. And so what we're telling runners is really to conserve energy going up this hill. I always think of it as a little bit of a 3-parter that they're climbing up of. And to not think they have to sprint it or produce a really hard effort. You're just trying to survive this hill. It's not the worst hill I've ever seen. I actually really love running up Battle Pass when I have my time, and it's relaxing. And it comes so early in the race that it really won't be a detriment to your run. It's not coming in the last mile. So enjoy it. Group up with some runners and slowly climb on up together. And if you can, run the tangents at this point, because it's really, you don't have to run the S-curve. If you can run some straight lines to get up that hill, find the shortest line and follow it up.
And the best thing about this hill, guys, because on the other side of Prospect Park, other side of this hill is you come down the hill. So you do have a nice, about a half a mile downhill on the other side. And that is the biggest and the last hill you are going to have in the race, which is really nice. So it does come early, around about 4 or 5, and that is the hardest part as far as elevation of the course, because after that, you're going to be exiting Prospect Park on to Ocean Parkway. So this is a huge downhill that runners take. This is normally what the car is used to exit and enter, so it is a big downhill, and you're going to use, you keep the effort level the same, So you're gonna be going down this. Your pace will pick up here, of course, because you're going down the hill. It's free speed, so use it. Don't put the brakes on. And once again, it's pretty wide open. Ocean Parkway, you have the whole street. But this part of the course does get kind of a bad rap by people because it's long, it's boring, there's nothing to see. But guys, sign up for a race. It is one hill in it. You have a downhill to the beach. It is flat. It is PR ready, guys. So this is why I actually enjoy the course, because you can just put your head down, focus on your goal, and almost look at the person in front of you and say, I'm going to pass one more person. Okay, person in the blue shirt. I'm going to pass the next person in the blue shirt. So keep focus on that. There also are a lot of cheer zones along Ocean Parkway. They're out there. A lot of local teams, a lot of charities out there. We have our great TFK team going to be cheering at mile 8, guys. So if you're running with TFK or you know about TFK, they're going to be there cheering your name, Coach Unique.
Yeah, I love this. I actually really love this part of the race. You know, I think, yes, it can feel a little monotonous, and so sometimes runners like to count the streets from A to Z. You know, they go down, and you can count. That's a bit of a trick because once you get to Z, you're not there yet. There's some more streets to go. But it is a point of the race where you can really get into a rhythm. And as a runner, this is the best thing you can do for yourself, which is find that rhythm and lock into it. You want to find a little flow state right here and see if you can just keep your eyes fixed, as Coach Steve, on the person in front of you. It's also a point that if you're around other people who are running your pace, buddy up. Yeah. Like if you find some good energy, there's energy in running in groups, buddy up. You see a pacer, you know, hop onto that pace train. This is a really important part where you have to be mentally strong, but physically it is made for you. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a flip challenge. You know, Prospect Park is pretty, it's fun, it's entertaining to the mind, it's hard on the body. Ocean Parkway is easier on the body, but you've got to be strong of mind.
That's right, guys. I do want to call out, as we said before, it will be hot out there, guys. We will have our water stations throughout the course. So they are going to be about every mile, mile and a half. You see them here kind of circling a little bit. There'll be Gatorade and water at those stations. As you come out of Prospect Park, about mile 6.8, we will have our gel partners, SIS, Science and Sports. They will be there. So if you've used those gels, you can grab them, grab one, grab two, because sometimes we drop one and we need one later in the race. So you can use those as well. For this year, because of the heat, we are also going to be adding 9 misting stations. Those are the ones where sometimes you see the water, sometimes with a hose or something going up in the air, and then you can run through it. So those are key. There's going to be 9 of those throughout the course. And at the finish line, once again, just to keep you cool, we will have those frozen ice towels. As you finish, we'll be handed those, along with some other goodies we talk about, to keep you cool out there. But always, if you're feeling dizzy, I think we also do have our aid stations along the course. You can always walk off those aid stations, get up, sit down, get some ice, cool off a bit, then continue running. A lot of misconceptions. People think if you go to the aid station, that means you're done. You can't continue the race. But no, you can actually continue the race. Maybe get a salt tablet. They will help you get back to the run. That's their goal. Get you out there if you can. They'll cool you off and get you start running again, Nick.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about hydration strategy just for a second here. We're going to have water stations throughout the entire course. Don't wait until Ocean Parkway to refuel. I had a runner yesterday who said, my hydration plan is to wait until I get to Ocean Parkway. And I said, please, please, no. It's a race where I'd say take advantage of every water station you see. You don't have to stop and take 2 big cups of water and sit there and drink, but we want you to have, for every station you go through, you get a Gatorade or water. I like to go between mile by mile, switch it up, get a little bit of the electrolytes, get some water. And you really want to ingest it too. I know a lot of runners want to douse it on their head, but you really want to be drinking and hydrating throughout the run so you can replace what you are sweating, because you will be sweating naturally in this weather. So you're just trying to replace it to keep homeostasis and stay on top of it.
With that Gator, I always find your body's in that fight or flight, so the later in the course you are, the harder it is sometimes to digest stuff. Same with gels. So the earlier almost for this course, the better. So like I said, every mile or so. I usually don't take them, but for this race, I'm going to be almost every aid station doing something with that water, whether it's putting water on the pulse points to kind of help cool you off a little bit faster, or just getting it in my body as soon as possible. So guys, it's important to drink that water throughout the course. We have a lot of them out there. The misting stations will help everyone. So use those to your advantage. Run through them, cool off, and once again, those aid stations will be there for your safety as well. You're going to be continuing on through Ocean Parkway, guys. As you said, when you get to Avenue Z, keep going a little bit. What I like to keep an eye on, actually, there's a subway station right here. It's above ground subway, so you can see that from far away. Keep that in your sight. Put an invisible lasso around it. Have it pull you in gradually, because that's very close to actually the turn. You're going to make a right-hand turn onto Surf Avenue. Then you make a right-hand turn onto the Boardwalk. Now, as you come onto the Boardwalk, this is Coney Island view. You're going to see, guys, you got the Ferris wheels, you got the roller coasters. going on the boardwalk. It was built for everyday casual walkers on the boardwalk. It is narrow, guys. So if you are with a pace group, if you're running with that group that Coach Unique mentioned earlier, give yourself space. Make sure people around you are aware that it's coming up. Take your headphones out for this park, because once again, it is narrow. You can't really fit 30, 40 big groups of people going through there. So give yourself space going on to that boardwalk, Coach Unique, and then make a right-hand turn.
And you are in the best part of the whole course. There's so much fun finishing on the boardwalk. You've got the Atlantic Ocean on your left. You've got Nathan's Hot Dogs on your right. It is a fantastic finish. We want you to cheer. We want you to put your arms in the air. For everyone who finishes on Saturday, we are so proud of you and impressed with you, and it really is a celebration moment. Don't worry, we've got fantastic timing mats. Some of the best in the world. We're excellent at our race timing. So you can always go back and adjust your watch time if timing isn't important for you. But instead of doing the head down, I got it, put eyes up, hands in the air, celebrate your finish. You have just completed the RBC Brooklyn Half Marathon.
Yeah, this guy knows how to finish a race. He's got his arms up, he's celebrating. He's not worried about what the watch says. He's just putting the arms up in the air and cheering, crossing that finish line, guys. As you cross that finish line, guys, this is where recovery starts. So you're going to get your amazing, amazing RBC medal, put that around your neck. You'll get your photo taken by partners at Marathon Photo. As I said before, we're going to have those cold ice towels. Grab one or two to cool you off as soon as possible. You're also going to get a recovery bag from partners at HSS. And I mean, that's going to be really important stuff that as soon as you can, try to take some. I know you just did a liquid brunch for the last 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but there's going to be some Gatorade water, some pretzels, some apples, some sort of protein bar, I believe, from SIS as well in there. Start taking some supplements as soon as you can, because that's going to aid your recovery. There's about a 30-minute window. I want you to kind of start taking stuff as soon as you can. You're also going to pick up your check bag. If you did check a bag with UPS, it will be shipped over to the finish line, so look for your proper UPS truck to get your bag. And then, Anik, the celebration comes. You have HSS Recovery Zone, which you can cover, but then at the baseball stadium, you can meet family and friends, and party a little bit.
You can party a little bit, and we're going to have food and fanfare and fun. This is a celebration. This is one of my favorite races, because from the pre-party all the way to this finish area, it is a celebration in the baseball stadium. There will be a way for you to meet up with your family. So you are between the ocean and 22,000 other cell phones in use. Sometimes cell service is a little spotty, just like it is when you're at the beach. So we are suggesting that runners meet up with their families at a predetermined location. This can be the Nathan's Original Hot Dog stand. Although be careful, there are many Nathans. Actually, there's a lot of Nathan stands right at that. So make sure you know exactly which Nathans. Or it can be in the baseball stadium, where we have A to Z letters throughout the stadium. You can choose it by last name. You can choose it by your favorite letter. Just know your reunion plan for family and friends, so you're not walking around the stadium trying to find folks or just trying to reconnect. That's sometimes, that's the race after the race.
Yeah, lost runner in Coney Island. We're not trying to avoid the lost friends, lost family. Pretend like it's 1999. How did you find your family and friends when you're going out? You found a location and you waited there until everyone showed up. So plan advance. This is your map of the finish line. It's on the website. But we will have a frozen zone for runners. At the bottom here, you can't really tell. The frozen zone blue is only for runners. Here's your finish line park. And then you also have your home subways. If you did take subway, you have your D, F, N, and Q train, the yellow and orange. You can take those and transfer at various places, whether it's Atlantic Pacific or in the city. You need to go to the places. You can take that. Just follow all the runners to get to the subway. It's very easy to find where you're going, but just keep in mind and have that plan of where you're going to meet your friends and family. Anik, I think we got some great shout-outs and questions coming in.
Let's see what we got.
Take it away, Anik.
All right. The Traveling Runner says, good luck to all runners, and thank you to the volunteers. I love our volunteers. I love this because I love our volunteers at the pre-party. They were telling me where to go coming off the subway yesterday.
Ooh, good.
And they were so good at it. So shout out to our volunteers who have been doing amazing work leading up to the race, and then on race day are so essential to operations, keeping runners safe.
Couldn't do this without them.
Hydrated. I mean, when it gets hot, I love our volunteers that much more.
Yeah.
So they're going to be our heroes on race day. So thanks to the Traveling Runner.
We have Mohammed. It says, my first big event. So excited. I'm excited for you to be there, Mohammed. Hopefully you've got your race stuff. If not, come to the pre-party today. Say hi to us, but hopefully we'll see you at the finish line too. Congrats.
All right, Messi says, where specifically in the corral can we find the pacers? So you're going to want to go on the website, or maybe we can bring that chart back up again. And if there's one pacer, they're going to be in the middle of the corral. Now, if you have two pacers in your corral, one will be at the front of the corral and one will be at the back of the corral. And if you can't find your pacer, what you can do is the corral captain, you can ask them. That's the person who's letting you in and out of the corral, checking the bib to make sure you're in your right corral. So you can also ask them, Have you seen the pacer? They're going to have these popsicle signs. So you will be able to see them. They will hold them in the air. The fact that they hold them in the air the entire race is just like phenomenal. Like I have so much.
It's hard enough to run a half by itself, and now you're asking me to hold something else.
Hold something. I am so impressed with our pacers who do this. So once again, if you have 2 pacers in your section, one will be in the front of the crowd, one will be in the back. But if there's only one person, then they're going to be right in the middle.
Yeah, keep in mind with the pacers, guys, you don't have to run next to them the whole race. If you can give them 10 feet, 5 feet, stay back a little from them. I always start behind the pacer because then you can gradually catch them and pass them. I'm 11, 12 now. You're beating that time. So giving them space. I was pacing, I don't know, at the United Airlines NYC half one year, and someone got too close, actually tripped because they got too close to me. So give them space. We don't want anyone falling over. You can be 5 feet and still be with them. So give them space out there, guys. You'll see that sign, that flag, nice high in the air. All right, next up, Mohammed. What can I bring on the course, and can I leave my phone in the bag drop? Mohammed, so good question. So first one, what can I bring on the course? You can bring, I'm assuming you're talking about hydration. If not, let me know. A waste water pack, so those ones with like waist belt, and like usually 4 to 6 water bottles. You can bring that. You can also carry your water bottle as well, maybe fill that up throughout the course. What you cannot bring is an over-the-shoulder hydration pack back. So these are like the Camelback kind of things people see for long hikes or long runs. Those are the one thing NYPD will not let you bring through security. So if you're looking for more specifics, we do have a list on our website of things you cannot bring. So check that list out, the prohibited items, things like selfie sticks, umbrellas, which you won't need, but things like that. Take a look at that if you anything question what to bring. And then, can I leave my phone in the bag drop? Yeah, you can leave your phone. I recommend putting it in something so it's not as obvious. So put it in, you know, a towel wrapped up or a sweater, you know, whatever you need to kind of keep it concealed. Also, so it doesn't, if it falls, it's not going to crack in the trucks. And then just tie the bag really well so it doesn't fall out of that bag on the UPS trucks. Now, once again, what's in your bag is yours, but if you feel safe with your belongings in the away from you for that long, that's fine. You also get a belt at the pre-party and carry your phone with you on the course as well.
A lot of runners do a lot of different things for that one. All right, Alexandria says, I've got family driving in from Jersey and Manhattan. Any parking advice I can share with them? Yeah, so they're going to want to stay farther away from the drop points or the finish lines. So the starting areas and the finish areas are going to be crowded with people, with cars. You're going to just want to choose to stay, make almost like a half-mile perimeter circle around them and park outside that half-mile perimeter for both the start and the finish. And so what's nice about this race is it's not the New York City Marathon. There's not 50,000 people descending on Staten Island, which is like almost impossible. Like you could drop someone off for this race, but the person they're dropping off should be prepared to walk up to a mile just so they can find parking or they can get an easy access point. And then at the finish gets very congested because you have so many runners coming out. And you're in Coney Island, which is a wonderful neighborhood, but people live there and they have their own cars. And there's a lot of, you know, there's not a ton of parking in that area. You can also, in Coney Island, look for parking garages or any off-street parking. But do a little research in advance and just know it's going to be pretty dense right around the start and the finish, and you just want to avoid those areas.
And if you're just looking to park to cheer, you can always go like, you know, outside Prospect Park, so you can go like 4th Avenue or something like that, kind of just walk Carroll Gardens and kind of walk over to the finish line. Both of them, those are residential neighborhoods. Everything is residential. If you want to park, once again, along Ocean Parkway, which is a great place to cheer. It's still a residential, so it is normal parking for Saturday. So give yourself time to park for everyone. You know?
And just know, Ocean Parkway, which our runners are running on, is a major artery in that part of Brooklyn. So what sometimes happens is folks, GPS tell them to go on Ocean Parkway. They can't go on Ocean Parkway. We're on Ocean Parkway. So just know that if they're trying to hot tail it out to the finish, to make sure that they're on the right side of the park and they can find alternate routes besides Ocean Parkway to get there.
And we're running on both sides of Ocean Parkway. So both sides are closed traffic. So
we got it.
It is pretty busy. Next question we have from Alexandria. How long does it take for the whole Wave 2 crowd to pass the Starline? What time can I expect to cross if I'm in the later crowd? It's a really good question. So we've got this a lot similar at the Expo. Once the horn goes off in Wave 1 and Wave 2, everyone kind of goes together. It just kind of is like a stoplight as long as it takes for people to go. We're not doing a wave start or corral starts. We're just one big wave. It will take time. I've been in this race for many, many years, and I'm using the back 2 of Wave 1, so it's similar. You could be standing there for 5-10 minutes until you kind of start moving, and then you got to make your way a few hundred feet to the actual start line, and then you kind of slow jog as you get there. So it can be some time. It could be about 15 minutes, depending on when it is to cross that start line. But if someone is using like the live results page, it will let them know when you're crossing that start line, which will be nice.
Yeah, we do have tracking for this race. So if you have family and friends, we recommend having that tracking app up and working. You can go to our website and we have live tracking available. You can either download the app and do it from there, or you can just do it on a web browser. But you can enter a bunch of names of folks you want to be able to find, and they'll show you a rough estimate of where they are during the race, which is helpful. So you know when your runner is crossed, so you know when they're near points that you want to see during the race. You mentioned a slow start. Will the pacers start slow as well and then speed up? I think that's Coach Steve.
I think it's a great question. So every pacer they're all going to be pacing by effort. Now that's going to be different for each pacer. They're all paced differently. But so like the 120 pacer is going to do a lot different than the 3-hour pacer, for example. My recommendation would definitely talk to your pacer in that corral. If you haven't been at the pre-party, come by today. Talk to maybe your pacer will be there today. We have a few coming by. Generally speaking, most will start a little slower. A, because it's really crowded. B, because it's going to be a little hotter. They want to keep the group together. And you also have the biggest hills early. So there are also some really smart runners. They know how to pace something like this. So yeah, most, I think, on average, will do something like this. But once again, talk to your pacer to see what their goals are beforehand, so you know if they're going out at the exact clip or if they're going out a little slower than that exact mileage. Next, we have a question from Clara. What mileage are the gels at? 6.8, right, Coach Unique?
6.8. Yeah. And so just keep an eye out for them, or have your own too. If you know you like science and sport, or you want something else, you can always, people get real creative. They pin them to their waistbands, they have them in zip pockets, or put them in a running belt. But they will be at 6.8, so you can go grab them there. Yeah, great question.
Norma, can friends cheer at any point of the course or only in cheer zones, Coach Unique?
Oh, I love this. Any point on the course. The cheer zones tend to be teams or charity groups. You can always jump in there and want to cheer as well.
Sometimes bands are there.
Bands are there, but you can really cheer at any point on this course. So get a little creative and figure out where there's less people sometimes. I'm a big fan of finding the place where there are not the crowds, because I want my cheering to have a really big impact.
The quiet whisper areas.
I'm the only voice in the area. So there's going to be different parts in Ocean Parkway where there's not going to be crowds. I'd recommend almost moving away from the cheer zones so you can be that additional support to runners, and you can find your person as well.
That's the easiest, I feel. Cheering sometimes at the busy place at Granite Plaza is great as a runner to use that motivation and energy, but it's hard to find your friends and family in that area.
Yeah, and also Prospect Park is beautiful. Yeah. So I love the idea of the parking in a neighborhood in Prospect Park and walking into the park, and so you can actually see the runners go by and just have a beautiful, shady cheering station for yourself as well. And then if you're really interested, you can run out to Ocean Parkway and cheer at an emptier part. But yeah, the course is open to you to cheer, and sometimes it's better to actually avoid the cheer zone so your voice is louder. Yeah. So great question.
Go ahead, Anique.
All right, the traveling runner. Where will Coach Steve be handing out the hot dogs, Coach Ben?
I said this once.
Oh, well, you said it once, and then Ben
I think Ben's been repeating it every chat.
He and I really went in on you for this.
I'm going to say, if you can find me at the finish line, we'll talk.
If you can catch him, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I promised 500 hot dogs coming from you.
I should get some cash from the ATM, I think.
Yeah, you're going to need a little cash.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
I'll see you there, traveling runner.
That's hilarious. I love that. Mission accomplished.
Cool. Any other questions?
Coming on in.
There we go.
All right. Indu says, will the waves not list the corral alphabets at all, since you mentioned all will start together? So this is a great question. Let's just clarify this point. You're going to come in to your wave start area, and as you walk down, you're going to see the alphabet letters that are at the corral start, and they're going to be up until 20 minutes before your wave start. At 20 minutes, they're going to close the corrals and collapse them. And what collapsing means is that the tape that separates them will be removed, and you can start to move up, which is why you absolutely need to be in your corral earlier than 20 minutes. Otherwise, they'll just put you in the back. So you have to be in your corral zone. So the corrals will have numbers. You will know exactly where you're going race morning. And the corral captains will do this all for you. You don't have to know anything special. The corral captains will break down the corrals eventually. So it's just know when they close, that's when the corral letters cease to be important, because you got to get ready for the race itself.
Yeah, and if you're a little confused, you can also ask one of the volunteers out there, this is my bib, where do I go? They'll help you. It's pretty. Once you see it, it's pretty easy. Just look for your letter. You know, A, wave 1, A. That's where I'm going. But just talk to the volunteers out there. They'll kind of direct you of where to go if it's the first time. Next, we have Jen says, where on the website is the tracking available? So look on the website. You can just look at liveresults.nyrr.org, or you can just Google live results NYR. It'll come up, and there's where the information Anique was talking about to kind of type in people's names, and you can kind of get their splits throughout the course.
Yeah, we have this for every race, but
all the weekly races.
All the weekly races. This is an app we use, so you can have this app downloaded for all weekly races, but it's really great to be able to track it for Brooklyn.
Yeah. Anique, that is all we have for today's chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And Anique, this is a pleasure doing it with you.
I'm so excited for the hot dogs. You're going to buy all the runners at the end. This is a joke. I feel like I need to clarify this is absolutely a joke. Coach Steve does not have like a secret hot dog account at Nathan's.
You know that.
But I'm going to keep hyping it that he does.
Yeah.
Do you know Nathan? Best friends of Nathan. Secretly, Nathan. Runners, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited for you to get out there on race day. Be smart, run within yourselves, listen to your bodies, hydrate throughout it, and then just become an expert on the course. You know, we hope some of the information we've shared with you today will help you thrive out there. We cannot wait to see you. If you haven't picked up your bib yet, come see us at Brooklyn Bridge Pier 2 today, the last day to do it. Coach Steve?
Don't go out too fast. Nothing to race day, and do not race before the race, guys. We will see you there.